a bit behind the schedule, but I'd like to have the speakers come back to address some of the questions or speak more in details about their projects. So I'd like to first welcome back Mr. Konishi from Daiichi Jitsugyo and Mr. Nakamura from Osaka Gas to the stage once again, and I'd like to ask them two different questions. So for Mr. Konishi from Daiichi Jitsugyo, I was wondering what are some of the important points in forming a JCM model project? And for Mr. Nakamura from Osaka Gas, I was wondering perhaps you can talk about some of the difficulties or difficult points in forming a JCM project. So for Mr. Konishi, I'll read the question in Japanese just for clarification. JCM の形成において重要なポイントについてお話しいただければと思います。So with that, Mr. Konishi, important points of forming JCM model project. Go ahead.
Thank you again, Yamaguchi-san. So I think the most important point to make a JCM project is a strong relationship with local partners. So it's because JCM monitoring period like long, like 15 years, 17 years. So of course we need to study for the economical calculation, technology, reliability, and the fuel supply chain, especially for biomass. But as I said, so strong relationship with the local partner is very important.
Thank you very much for sharing that insight. And then I would like to ask Mr. Nakamura from Osaka Gas. I think it's a related question, but the difficulties in formulating a JCM model project. So if you're ready to answer that question, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So looking back, I guess the most difficult part was time management of overall scale, overall project. So of course, there's a deadline for JCM application, and at the same time, we need to have negotiation with potential customers who allow us to install solar panels on the roof. So we need to make everything done within the given time frame, which I think was the most difficult part.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Konishi and Mr. Nakamura, for sharing your insight. With COVID still not quite under control, I think communicating with your partner and as well as keeping to the schedule must be also contributing to your challenges and also keeping up with the important part of JCM as well. So thank you very much for sharing that insight as well, and as well as the presentation. So I'd like to, for the next question, I'd like to welcome back Ms. Baba from Nippon Koei, as well as Mr. Arima from City of Kitakyushu, Ms. Jun from Haiphong City, and Mr. Hibino from Institute for Global Environmental Strategies for similar questions about their city-to-city collaboration projects. So I have just one same question for both Ms. Baba and Mr. Hibino. So regarding your respective project, what do you think is the particularly promising or highly feasible technology for JCM, for JCM to become a JCM project in the future? So I would like to ask Ms. Baba to begin.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. So I expect the technology of the Seibu Giken is very has a high potential for the JCM project to reduce the CO2 emission reduction as energy saving technology, because we are conducting the field survey in Hanoi, and we get several information of the potential buildings and facilities. It's more than 250 we already recognized. Now we are promoting we will promoting that technology to the Hanoi city. That's why I promote this technology as a JCM project. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. HIBINO from IGES, if you'd like to take it up.
Thank you, Yamaguchi-san, for your question. If you say most promising, then that might be a solar power project. But as everybody knows, there's too many solar power projects because for cost effectiveness, it's one of the most feasible project. But the subsidy rate is decreasing. So I would like to push one of our proposed project, which is a smart power plant in industrial estate, which manages the energy demand and supply with EMS energy management system, including power generated from the solar power, and also installing like cogeneration system, and the generated steam from the cogenerator can also be supplied to the nearby factories, so that as a whole it's more complicated, so it's not so as easy as solar power to be accepted, but in terms of cost benefit, co-benefit in the entire industrial estate, I think it's more promising, and I think that matches well with the eco-industrial park concept, which Ministry of Planning and Industry is promoting. Yes, so that's my answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for both speakers for sharing that thought. I think it is also mentioned in Vietnam's NDC that energy, saving and efficiency is one of the, I think, priority areas for achieving their net zero goal in 2050. So I think both your projects also sort of contribute to that extent. So I think that was a meeting, with the Vietnam's policy is also important in promoting the city-to-city collaboration and also JCM. So I think that was very interesting and inspiring answers to that question. So thank you again, once again, for coming back to addressing that question. And I just have one more. I'd like to welcome back, lastly, Mr. NAITO from Fukushima Galilei to ask him a little bit more about the co-innovation project. So if you I will read it out. I'll read out the question. So after completing this co-innovation project that you just discussed with us, are there any plans to expand it to a JCM project in the future? Are any plans in the future in general for your project?
Yeah. So I thinking the most important point is we need to explain to the customer why we need to this technology and we need these systems. Of course, we need to make customer happy for first, but also customer makes happy to the people who is living the area and the countries for energy saving and a comfortable space. And then it's mean for huge work is us saving. So we need to just not only business partner, we need to make one team. And then most important point, why we need to doing for these systems for the spare as well for the supermarket. I need to explain one by one customer for first. I think this is why I need to do step up fast.
Thank you very much, and hopefully you'll be able to expand to more stores, more facilities in the future, and also use the same technology to undertake a JCM project in the future. So thank you again for coming back to that to answer that question. So